creative consultant based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Sports has really informed my personal sense of style and has carried over in a lot of different ways. You know, growing up in the early 2000s, mid-90s, early 2000s, formative years, you know, you got obviously Michael Jordan, the icon of all icons, you got Allen Iverson, you got Ken Griffey Jr., you got all of these people, you got Tiger Woods, you got all these people that are making a lifestyle in sport. They really started to come together in like a very commercial way. And, you know, my personal style is informed by that a lot, which is why hats became a part of my personal style growing up playing sports. I'm excited to see that there was this new wave of fitteds that was happening and how they were being integrated back in the culture, but I wasn't exactly sure how it was happening, like how it was working and how it operated. Like I noticed that obviously certain things were limited, you could only get them in certain places, but I just didn't understand really, you know, just the nuts and bolts of what was happening with hat culture.
So I met Dave initially in social status. It was actually at like a free game that we did with James. But how we got linked with the creation of the Knights hat, it was at a pop-up that we was hosting for a local creative. March 2021. Told me, look, I want to do something for the city. The city doesn't have an official hat like a New York Yankee or White Sox. We don't have that in Charlotte. He's like, I want to, you know, that's what I'm shooting for. You could tell it was something passion driven for him, like a dream come true in a sense. This is what we want. We want people to come in and share ideas and collaborate and be able to express themselves artistically through our channel.
With Gio, I just started asking, I asked him, yo, like, I see Fitted hats is going crazy right now, like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with it, like, how does it work, like, what's going on? He gave me the whole rundown, A to Z. Having that conversation, you know, it was just good energy, so I pulled back up to the shop, we had another conversation, and then it was just kind of like a kindred spirit type of moment. Me and Gio just had real good conversations, and then he was like, yo, we should do a collab, we should do something together, and I was like, yo, I want to do something for the city. I want to do fitted, you know what I'm saying, with the Knights. You know what I mean? We can do, you know, minor league. He was like, yeah, it's no problem. We definitely do minor league. So I want to just like, you know, create it and drop it. You know what I'm saying? Like we right here in the city. I want to find a way to collaborate with the team on the release and on the launch. Like I want it to be like official in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to help bridge a gap between like a large, you know, entity in terms of a semi-pro sports team. And like what's happening with culture for real in the city, like I want that bridge to be built. To design the hat, I was digging into like all of the inspiration that I could find, all of the older stuff that I could find, looking at what stories could be told. There was a jersey from the 1990-91 season that they wore. It was black, royal blue, a little bit like a peach or like a lighter color in there too, and white. It had a lot of stripes, and I was like, yo, this is dope. Yeah, I just workshopped that back and forth with you. I was like, yo, these colors are dope. Purple and teal is kind of like an overdone thing for like Charlotte's the first thing people think of because of the Hornets. But like I thought if it was done tastefully, then it could be done, you know what I mean, in a way that people will really be able to appreciate. Another interesting thing is just the fact that that jersey was retro in 2013 by the team. They wore it on a 90s night. So 2013 was the year that I graduated from Winston-Salem State University and came back to the city. So when you talk about just like HBCU integration to the story, when you just talk about like my personal Charlotte story, you know, it's all woven up, you know what I mean, into this design. It all made sense and it all came together in a super cohesive story. And I'm happy to that it's finally here and that the collaboration actually happened and we were able to get the team on board. And you know, I'm looking forward to building a longer partnership with the Knights as well. This is just the first step in us, you know, creating a bigger platform for Charlotte creatives to be able to collaborate with the Charlotte Knights and the community that they build around the sport of baseball in Charlotte. HBCUs are like the biggest producers of like black lawyers, black doctors, all of your like quote unquote like respected professions. But there's a lot of creative talent and a lot of culture like globally that comes and it started at HBCUs, like whether it's dances or specific styles on the way that people dress. A lot of that creativity, it starts on campuses at HBCU because black culture is really like a linchpin in creating global culture. So it's only going to be natural that if you have a space where you have a bunch of young black people, that new culture is going to be created. HBCU students and the HBCU community to really understand that like what you're producing, what you're doing is impacting the world. on what that impact looks, because again, like we are impacting the world from a technical perspective with some of the jobs and like trade-based things through like actual like culture and the way things are moving forward creatively, globally. So hopefully it's an inspiration, and it can let people know exactly what we're capable of moving forward. In a city like Charlotte that is growing very quickly, there are a lot of moving parts, but if you put yourself out there and you start to just get to know different people and jump into different communities and jump into different sections and start to just know that there's more than what you know, and start to insert yourself into different spaces, like just pull that thread and like just keep pulling, you know what I mean? You'll start to see that like there's more than what meets the eye, and that goes for both sides, whether you're in like kind of the business community or some other kind of formalized community, or the municipal side of things in terms of government and all those sorts of things, or whether you're a creative and artist. Like these things have to interact for us to be able to move things forward for the city to grow. Like in terms of them coming together, it's just wanting people to understand both sides. Like I want you to understand how arts is funded by the city so that you can participate should you want. I want you to understand the resources that the city has for small businesses, because if you're an artist, you have the ability, if you represent yourself correctly, you can take care of the proper paperwork, you get an LLC, you get a tax EIN, etc. You can take on the benefits that you see small businesses taking on, because that's your business, you sell art. So a lot of it is just, again, wanting people to understand what's possible and understand what's out there so they can make the best decisions.